Hey, my name's Nikki, and I've been wanting to start a booktube channel for as long as I can remember, but I'm a perfectionist, and it has to be done perfectly or else it won't get done at all, and so I've been stalling until magically I'd be able to do it perfectly, which is just never going to happen. So I am just going to rip the band-aid off. I'm going to accept imperfection, and we're going to do this. So I very deliberately did not dress up for this video. I didn't do my hair. I don't care. I'm just gonna booktube and we'll see where it goes. I thought I would start out with my TBR for February. It's a little late in the month, but I haven't really done much yet, so it should work out. The first one I want to read, Deadhouse Gates by Erikson. Now, I actually started this book about 2 years ago and put it down, but left it on my currently reading shelf on Goodreads, and it's just been sitting on there annoying me ever since. But that is basically my good intentions to get back to it. The first book took me about a year to get through. In January, I decided come hell or high water, I was going to continue the book no matter what, and I am currently almost 50% of the way through it. So it's a lot less dense than the first one. The first one, I was using that Kindle X-ray feature constantly to look back and remind myself which character was which, because there were so many new characters being introduced that I couldn't remember if I'd seen them before, and like names and references. And like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so I wanted to make sure that I remembered everything, because the series is such a huge investment and it's so dense that I wanted to get the full experience out of it once, because I know I will not take the time to reread it anytime soon. There's just too many books on my list. But yeah, this one, to me, there are a lot of characters, but they kind of converge a little better, and you get back to the same character quicker than you did in the first book. So for that reason, I think I'm enjoying it a lot more, and I think that's why I've been able to make it so far so fast in it. Good book. I think the character depth could use a little work. Like, the characters are really interesting and really cool, but they're not very deep, I guess, so to say. But the world building is epic, and the writing style is unlike anything I've ever read before, so I will be continuing that one. Next one on my list. Who wrote it? Gosh dang it. I'm going to be reading the second book to the Poppy War series. I really enjoyed the first one. For some reason, I didn't really feel a lot of urge to continue. There were some really brutal things at the end of this book, and it kind of took a weird direction for me. Which, by the way, is probably an unpopular opinion. I have not heard anybody really criticize anything about this book. And that being said, like, even with my criticisms, it was still a 4-star read. And I love the whole concept for the thing, and I think it's very well done. The author has got a real talent with voice and characterization, so really cool. And concept, for that matter. But anyway, the second book is The Dragon Republic, and I'm curious to see if I'll like it as much, because it does not have any focus on school or learning magic or anything, and that was the main draw of this one for me. So we'll see if she can sustain my attention. I've heard it's one of the few trilogies that actually goes somewhere meaningful, and the third book ends with a bang, so I'm willing to give it a shot. So there's that. Next one. Okay, little known fantasy series. This is the second one in a duology by Don Cook, which, if you don't know, is a pen name for Kim Harrison, who wrote the Hollows series, Rachel Morgan. I actually, at one point in my life, loved Dawn Cook's Truth series as my favorite fantasy, and Kim Harrison as my, like Rachel Morgan as my favorite urban fantasy, and then figured out it was the same author. So her and I really click. The first book in this series was really cute. Wouldn't give it much more substance than that. It was a solid 3-star. I think it's a really good transition novel for those who love YA but want to get into more like robust fantasy. Excellent transition novel. And likewise, if you like young adult ideas and stories but aren't really a fan of like the simplistic writing style or the tropes, this is like the next step up. So it's palatable, if you will. So I didn't lose patience with it, even though I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit. The love interest was kind of convenient, if it will. But anyway, I'm committed enough to read the second one. I liked the concept introduced in it, and I'm hoping that hoping it'll go somewhere cool in this one. And if I have time, I would love to read the Heroes, the one that comes right after Best Served Cold. I am eating up this author. I love everything about the writing. I love everything about the characters, the humor. I've said it on a couple of reviews. I don't know how an author can make me genuinely laugh out loud during a torture scene. Like the juxtaposition, duality of all the characters and the scenes, it's just brilliant. It's a slow burn. This one was awesome. I love that the continuation trilogy, or whatever, the extra books in the First Law World, is just as good as the first one. Yeah, so I will be committing my year to reading all things Abercrombie so I can catch up with his writing, because he's one of the few I really regret not having picked up earlier. But my mom read the first one, and I don't know if she made it through the whole thing, but she said it was kind of boring. And after picking it up, I can totally get where she's coming from. It's not fast-paced at all. It's entirely character-driven. The plot points can be like summarized on one hand, but I don't mind that as long as it's got substance, and it had that in abundance. And it just has been getting better from there. So yes, I will be reading the Heroes as well if I have a chance, if I make it through Deadhouse Gates in time. So anyway, so that's my TBR, and this is my very bad lighting, awkward first start, but I needed to just rip the band-aid off and post something. And I will be looking to improve my quality from there. But yeah, I just needed to get started, and I needed it to be not perfect so I could stop being paralyzed. Anyway, I'm the Obsessive Bookseller on Goodreads. Find me on there, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.